Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. Right, let's just get to the real game. We're talking body language, we're talking attraction, we're talking about BS, we're talking about everything in between, alright? So, shall we get straight onto it? You best enjoy this in your breast. You can tell what's on my mind looking at these pretty young ladies ahead of me. You best press follow, because generally we're going to be banging all of this stuff up on the Patreon in due time. So this is the real game, this is my expertise. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. All right, so let's sign in, shall we? This is the introduction. It's a video by Jubilee and it's entitled "Which Guy Gets the Most Girls?" Girls rank guys by Riz. So if you don't know what Riz is, it's, you know, a new slang for game, essentially. Let's go.
I mean, I'll be able to take you from the Vava to Sync on Sync, then back to the Vava. You know.
What?
But what I can do is make sure to be a chicken noodle soup when you're sick.
Is there a medic here? Because this guy needs to be checked if he's having this.
So I'm not talking too heavy, we're just getting the introduction out of the way, alright? Right, so we're ranking Riz. We've got 7 guys here, it seems. The least Riz-tastic guy to the most, yeah? The men will first discuss what Riz means to them and rank themselves accordingly. Are you following, people? This is going to be a good one, yeah? Let's see what these ladies think on what these guys are saying, yeah? And we'll do a bit of discussion as we go along. Hold on, make sure you can see me. Yep, I know you can do.
I would say my definition of
Right, first and foremost, let's have a look at how these guys are. They're ordered by height. You can see that from the get-go, right? Well, maybe not literally, but it might as well be ordered by height, you know. I don't know whether this is intentional or not. So let's have a look at how these guys are standing. So, first guy's... this guy's talking in it, the guy in pink.
Riz is,
Okay, the guy talking in pink, right? Let's go back and have a look at these lot.
I would say my
Right. So, guy in the middle, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 along. This dude, look at his posture. He's directing the hands to the genital area. He's trying to make himself look big, or bigger, by expanding his arms are like wings, yes. Making yourself larger generally is a masculine trait, yes. He might be a little fearful, a little insecure as to how he stands in relation to these taller fellas at the other side of him, right? Because he has to direct his attention to them purely as this guy's speaking, and for him to ignore this guy, I don't know, it might not show the traits he wants to on this dating program, because that's what it is. It's a dating program, right? Moving along, we got this. Hold on, can we see everyone? Yeah, we can see everyone. Brilliant. Moving along, and I'm just gonna, you know, we can dial it in top to bottom, each and every person, but we're just gonna look at the things that stand out. Moving along, we got this guy second to the end. He's got his hands behind his back. He's the only person with his hands behind his back. Now, it'd be interesting to see if he's holding his hands or holding his wrists or holding his forearms, because the further that hand goes up the back, the more indicative of self-restraint and insecurity it would show. But if he's holding his hands, that's quite a regal posture, like the Prince Charles who walks around in this position. When you feel comfortable, confident and elite in your own way, you can walk around in this particular position as it exposes your ventral side, which is your internal organs exposed via your stomach and so forth. It's a showcase of confidence and comfort. So that guy seems pretty cool, calm and confident, given that it's his hands he's holding. I mean, his arms look pretty low down, so there's a potential that's the case. And this guy in the middle is confident enough to expose his genitalia and make himself look bigger, but it could also be overcompensation per se in order to compete with the bigger men of stature. And to all the black pillars out there, yes, if you are taller, you're going to get people looking at you the most. You are going to be at a disadvantage if you are of shorter stature. Welcome to the real world. Right, cool.
my definition of Riz is every single time I've talked ever.
If you're Gen Z, you know what.
So my guy's gassing already. Let me give you some game, people. You know what? If these ladies were about, I wouldn't even be cracking a smile. You know what I mean? These childish jokes. I'm not bigging this man up because the smile is a sign of submission. Now, I'm getting into some real game. If you go into the chimpanzee world, go into the animal kingdom, our closest relatives, supposedly, yeah, talking on an evolutionary basis. I mean, something might have introduced itself to our timeline, our evolution in between the apes to us. But if we apply ourselves to the evolutionary biological standard, you'll see that chimpanzees expose their teeth and smile in order to submit and appease others they deem dominant. Look at his face. Everybody's cracking up. Everyone's laughing. This guy's not even joking. He's stone-faced. He's just cracked a joke. All the boys are laughing. He's gassing. Look at his face. He's in dominant position from the get-go. Yeah? When you go and speak to your boss at work, or when somebody you know speaks to their boss at work, they're more likely to smile in order to appease the boss, to make sure the boss knows that they are not threatening, right? Whereas the boss is going to smile less. This is significant of dominance and submission, yeah? If the ladies are about, come on. We need to firm up a little bit unless you want to give it to your competition. Now, there's nothing wrong with being organic and nothing wrong with smiling when you feel like smiling. It's a positive thing. Who don't want to feel good? But if you're in competition, in order to be ranked, you're not going to show your best self if you're there hee-hee and ha-ha into the next man when he don't even care. He's not even smiling. Look.
What Riz is. It's just using your personality and charisma to romantically entice a girl.
It's like an old...
I mean, real talk, if you look at this, my man's talking about Riz. He's got his back turned to him. This is what we call the cold shoulder. Have you ever heard that term? So the guy in pink has literally got his back turned to him. Look, everyone is looking and directing attention to the guy who's speaking. This guy in pink, he don't give a fuck, man. He's running game. Probably outside of his own awareness. So we're gonna have an interesting experience seeing what the ladies think of this guy in pink, right? What else do we see here? Yeah, everyone's attentive. You know what? These people are comfortable to an extent purely as they're not covering their stomach over. They're not covering their belly. The one guy who is the guy who's facing the crowd. He's essentially facing an army right here, this guy in pink. And what he's doing is he's clasping onto his hands, yeah? Because his hands are full of nerve endings. Them nerve endings are sending a positive surge of hormones to fight off the stress hormone in his brain, which is going to be natural when you're facing a bunch of strange men. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them looking directly at you. Let's go.
It's using your personality and charisma to romantically entice a girl.
It's like an all-encompassing thing, right? It's the whole package, right? So it could be the looks, it could be your personality, it could be the jokes, could be your pickup lines because you're witty.
It's also your approach, though, too.
Yeah.
How you can't just come up to a woman and be like, oh, hey, I think you're gorgeous. Like,
you can't be awkward, you can't be cringe. That is the...
Let me tell you what, it's low-key a bit fruity, that movement. Do you know what I mean? He ran game on him indirectly there. Pay attention. This little guy on the end, he ran game on this guy who was talking. Watch.
Jokes could be your pickup lines because you're witty.
It's also your approach, though, too.
It's also your approach, though, too. Now, listen to what this guy says. I'm not even trying to say anything here.
How you can't just come up to a woman and be like, oh, hey, I think you're gorgeous. Like,
you can't be
looks him dead in the eye, says, oh, if you got to try his run game, try put that feminine game on him.
awkward, you can't be cringe.
And look at this guy, he starts pacifying here. He starts pacifying. Guy in the pink, look at this. He starts rubbing his forearm frantically, massaging his own forearm, right? Look, this is something that a parental figure or an authoritarian figure might have done when he was a child, and he's regressing back to childhood state right now by rubbing and massaging his forearm. Watch.
You can't just come up to a woman and be like, oh, hey, I think you're gorgeous. Like,
you can't be awkward, you can't be cringe. That is the #1 Riz killer. Even if you're not that good looking, if you got mad Riz, if you got mad game, you can explore that way.
That's 100% true. So how do we...
He's on about running game, and let me tell you, right, you might not be the best looking person. Hey, if you got your own game, you got your own game. It's not all about looks. It's not all about looks. First impressions, important, yeah. But from there on, once you start communicating, that communication is going to blow the guy who, you know what I mean, can't speak whatsoever.
How do we want to shake this up?
I would say you said that you would like sing to women in public.
Yeah, that's definitely,
That's first place because I would not want to do that.
That's confidence.
That is a lot of
talent.
It's not confidence.
And talent.
That is confidence and talent.
What about you guys?
I think you're funny. I think you're funny.
this is powerful. When you hear a bold statement, pay attention to people. Say, I think you're funny. And then he highlights and accentuates that. I think you're really funny. Let's slow this shit down. I want to pay attention to this one.
That is confidence and talent.
What about you guys?
I think you're funny. I think you're up here for sure.
You gotta go
higher? Like, actually?
We're not. I think you're funny. I think you're really funny.
What's your go-to move?
All right. And on that note, I'll see you on the next episode, yeah? Catch you soon.